So much. Who was singing along with that? Yes, many of us were. So the meditation that I did today was based on the introduction to a book called The Four Agreements. Who's heard of it? Who's read it? Yeah, this is pretty much a staple in my life. Every page is noted, folded, highlighted, and marked from all the times I've read it. Someone a couple of weeks ago, a couple months ago, said, we need to hear the Four Agreements again. So let's do it. So it's written by Don Miguel Ruiz, who is of the Toltec tradition, a group of people who lived in southern Mexico who were gifted in knowledge and wisdom. And this is based on their knowledge and wisdom. And the Four Agreements are be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Simple, right? They sound simple, but not so much when we live them every day. So today we're going to jump right into the first agreement. And these are based on new agreements that we make. We are born and raised, and our parents, our extended family, our churches, our schools, all of our institutions have fed us information about ourselves, information about each other, and information about our world. And we believed it. Why wouldn't we? These people of authority would never lead us astray, right? But so we believed everything. They told us what to believe, how to behave, what to expect, what to label as good, what to label as bad, what to call right, what to call wrong. What to say is beautiful and what to say is not beautiful. And we believe it until we don't. When our minds grow and develop, and these agreements that we made no longer make sense to us. They no longer fit tidily in our minds. We no longer have that young person mind. So we get to change those agreements that we made. And we get to create a new set of agreements that we can live by. Because the universe doesn't allow a vacuum. Anytime we give up an agreement, something replaces it. So we get to choose what we fill that empty space in our heart and in our mind with. In Unity, we use denials and affirmations to change thoughts and beliefs and behaviors. And in his teachings, Don Miguel Ruiz, what he gave up, he took on new agreements. And these are the four. That first one, be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. Now, if you haven't heard, we are in an election cycle. I see gasps. And there are lots and lots of words being said. Lots of words of judgment and accusation. And they're coming from every direction. So be impeccable with your word. How impeccable are these words? And we can choose to cling on to the words, or we could choose to let them go, just breeze by us. So when we are impeccable with our words, we are speaking with integrity. We are speaking our truth, what is true for us, what is right for us. And nobody has the authority to tell you that. Nobody has the mind to tell you it. So speak and say what you mean, and mean what you say. How many times do we allow silence while we gather our thoughts and form our thoughts so that they can be presented clearly. It's not the American way to allow silence in a conversation. Typically, when someone is speaking, another person is preparing their rebuttal, preparing their response. We're not listening and hearing what people are saying. So when we use our words impeccably, we are watchful of what we say about ourselves. The labels we put on ourselves, the words we use to describe ourselves. We use our power to speak words of truth. They might not be your truth or your truth, but they're my truth. And I've investigated them, as you have. And you've explored them. And the Old Testament, our creation story in Genesis, we learn the power of the word. Every time God said, "Let there be," there was formation of light, of earth, of sky, of the fish of the seas, of the birds of the air, of the animals that creep and crawl upon the earth, of you and of me. Every and each time God said, "Let there be." Our words have power to form and to create. And in the New Testament, we hear again the power of the word in the first chapter of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God, and all things came to being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being. And later we hear the words, and the Word became flesh. The Word became manifest. Our words have the power and the ability to be formative and creative. Who likes to hear happy birthday when you are celebrating your birthday? So I had a birthday a little bit ago, and I got a telephone call from a friend, but I was busy and I didn't get the call, and so they wished me a happy birthday by singing happy birthday to me. And I have played that over 3 or 4 times because it created in me this feeling of warmth, of love, that my friends called and wished me happy birthday. Our words have power to create feelings, to create a vibration in others. For me, it was joy and comfort and a reminder that I am loved by other people. When we are at the end of our life, we are pronounced deceased by the Word. The Word pronounces us at the end of our life. I do. These words join together people in the sacred bond of marriage, a profound union that creates something as two that is more than what they were as one. I do. 2 words create a powerful unit that moves forward in the world, impacting their world, however they choose to. I do creates a marriage, a bond. So be impeccable with your words. In Latin, it means without, and peccatus, sin, without sin, without missing the mark. We use that as an archery term so often in unity. So being impeccable with our words means that we're being truthful with our words and we're speaking it out into the world without missing our mark. We're speaking our word out into the world without sarcasm. Sometimes. It means that we're speaking our words out into the world without judgment. Maybe. We try. But that's the goal. That's the goal, to be impeccable with our word. So when we think about sin, we often think about religion, right? And the things that we do against others or the things that others do against us or against that which we call God. But the four agreements share an idea that sin is also anything we do, anything we speak against ourself. Now, I was tempted to not say this, but it's the BS of life, the blasphemous statements, the statements about ourselves that are against what we are told from the beginning that we are good. Because when God used those words, let there be, he finished it with, saw that it was good. Saw that it was very good when it came to us as humanity. Saw us as very good. Anything or that we say that dishonors that God of us is not being impeccable. That's the blasphemous against God. If God looked at me and said it's good, perhaps I can learn how to. Perhaps I can put aside that ego part of me and say, yes, there is goodness that's born in me. My divine heritage is of goodness. And when I am brave enough and courageous enough to do that, then I can live that greatest commandment to love God and to love ourselves and to love others. Then we can be impeccable with our words. And if we are expressing words of love, that divine love that is ourself, we are then carrying out that divine love that is all of creation. And we begin to honor creation. We notice the trees and we honor the earth. We honor all of creation. When we express divine love, we are expressing God. We become impeccable, on target with our words. And we become compassionate with ourselves when we are impeccable with our words, because we are speaking only truth. And as we guide our way through spiritual truth, when we follow the advice of Paul in his letter to Corinthians, he says in his letter to the Philippians in 4:8, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if there be excellence or anything that is praiseworthy, think about those things. And we take it a step further. We speak about those things because our thoughts become our words. So we speak about those things. We speak words that are noble, honoring the divinity in each other. And while that may be easy to do when we light this Christ candle and we see the people in this chapel on Sunday morning, it's pretty easy to look at each other. But when we go out into the world, all are created with that divinity. No one is left out of that circle of goodness. Oh yes, that one. And that one too. Yes, even that one that pushes your last button for all it's worth. Everyone is created in that circle of goodness, in that circle of divinity. It may appear to us that some are not expressing that. And yet we can call them into seeing their goodness when we recognize their goodness. We can call others into being that. We speak words that are noble. We speak words that are true. We speak words that are pure. And it's in that purity that others are called into their purity. We speak words that are lovely. We speak words that are admirable. We speak words of excellence. And we speak words that are of praise. What if, for the rest of today, we only did that? We didn't criticize, we didn't judge, we didn't condemn another thing or another person. What if that was the energy we were putting into our world just for the rest of today? Are you willing to? Yes? Are you willing to try to do that? And we live on our unity principles that each sentient being is born with the spark of divinity. It's in every one of us. And where there is a spark, there is fire. And where there is that fire, that truth and goodness of each person can glow and grow. We might be the fuel that lends them and calls them to do that. So be impeccable with your word. Philosopher during antiquity, Hermes, said, as above, so below, as within, so without. That's the law of correspondence. And when we correspond with the energy of the universe, with our thoughts and with our words. Our words, as we said, are formative and they are creative. And we have the power, we were given the power of dominion over them. We were given the power of dominion over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air. That's our thoughts. That's the metaphysical expression of our thoughts. We were given the power and the responsibility. I think there's a responsibility with that. To choose our words, to choose what thoughts we hang on to. We can think a thought and let it go. Or we can think a thought and hang on to it for the rest of the day and let it be part of us. So be impeccable with your word. So is anyone here a skilled archer? So believe it or not, I was. In high school, I was an excellent archer. Now, I was a really scrawny kid. So when I went to summer camp as a counselor, it really served me well that my friends had taught me to be a good archer because I could shoot a bow and arrow. And, you know, in the beginning, I missed the target completely. And the arrow landed on the roof of the garage, off the mark. But as I practiced, as I shot those bows, those arrows, more and more and more, as I practiced with my friends regularly, I got really good. So we get many opportunities throughout the day. We get many opportunities throughout our life to become better at not missing the mark, of allowing our words to go out in the world with intention and with purpose behind them. We don't hit every target. It takes strength. We have spiritual strength. It takes concentration. We have to think about the words we are going to say. We have to decide, do these words deserve to be put out into the ether, or are these words better kept to myself? The words take clear vision. What's the impact that my words are going to have? And then our words need accuracy of aim to go in the direction that we intend them to go. And we have a card that has been sent out, and they're back on the table. You know, there's a litmus test for our words, and it's called think. Are the words true? Are they helpful? Are they inspiring? Are they necessary? And are they kind? If our words pass that litmus test, then speak them. Speak them loudly, speak them firmly, speak them with enthusiasm. And if they don't, maybe we can rethink our words. The same discipline and practice that it took me to become an excellent archer is the same discipline and practice that we need to use in our speaking, to be watchful with our words. So be impeccable with your words. So how impeccable is gossip? So what's gossip to you? Casual conversation that just comes up about this or that or the other thing. And it usually involves people, right? And other people's experiences. And when we gossip, we can keep in mind that we are merely sharing our perspective, our opinion. Now, however many people are in this room today, each and every one of us has a different perspective and a different opinion about probably everything. So just imagine the impact of our gossip. The prevalence of gossip is so great. Visit Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or any news station for that matter, and what are we hearing? But an awful lot of gossip. An awful lot of words. So there's a Jewish tale that there once was a man who had given no thought to what he said. If something came into his mind, out his mouth it went, with little or no regard of where his words landed, on who they landed, or if they were true or not. So he climbed the mountain and went to the guru to try to get help with his speaking in ways that got to be hurtful to people. So the guru said to him, "Take this pillow and open it up and let the feathers fly." So the man went down the mountain, he tore open the pillow, and the feathers just flew everywhere. And he went back to the guru the next week, and the guru said, "Well, your next task is to go and pick up the feathers." Well, the man said, "Of course I can't do that. The wind has blown them all around. The rain has destroyed some of them. I don't know where all those feathers are. I couldn't pick those feathers up if my life depended on it." And the guru said, "It's the same with your words. Once you speak them, once you put your words out there, you can't take them back. Yes, we might be able to apologize to a person, but the words have already landed." So we remember that is once our words are out, they're out. And the seat of the word in Charles Fillmore's 12 Powers, the seat of the word is in our throat. And this is where our power of dominion rests. So we have the power within us to be in charge of our words, to be in charge of what we put out into the world. So Don Miguel Ruiz asks us to make this agreement, to be impeccable with your words. Will you make that agreement with me this week? To as much as you are able to be impeccable with your word. But don't sell yourself short. Remember that you are born with this innate power of dominion. You are born with this ability to take charge and be responsible for your thoughts, which become our words. It might feel difficult or overwhelming at first. The more we do it, the more we're able to live freely, to live happily, and to transcend this human experience and some of the pain that's inflicted in this human experience by our words. So if you are willing, affirm with me, I am impeccable with my word. I am impeccable with my word. So you already are. You claim that as your I am. I am divinely made. I am divinely made. I am beloved. I am beloved of God, whole, perfect, and complete. I am beloved of God, whole, perfect, and complete. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am and all that I become. Just as I am and all that I become. And as we go this week with the agreement embedded in our heart and etched in our mind to be impeccable with our word, we always remember to let all we do be done with love. Yes, and so it is. Namaste.